What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Welcome to the Streaming Society. Today, we are doing high quality content. We are doing another Bleach tier list, but not of the game, and not of waifus or husbandos. Today, we are doing a tier list of all of the characters, and avoiding spoilers because the anime is returning this year. But we'll talk about a character's position if thinking only anime, in comparison to a character's position if all the manga material is considered. And that's kind of going to be where we go with this. That does remind me, I need to put a bracket for avoiding manga spoilers. That way we can put characters that do not appear in the anime at all yet. So with all that put aside, let's just go ahead and get into it. So our first character is Ichigo. I mean, he's the main character. I think he's a very good protagonist. I like Ichigo a lot. I could do a whole video talking about Ichigo and all the different symbolism and nuances and the different things that are really good and fascinating about his character, but it would be like the 30th character analysis of Ichigo in the last year that all mostly cover everything, I would say, if not everything, I would say. So with that in mind, if I considered anime only, I would probably put him in S. But I feel like with the entire package of anime and manga packaged together, I would put him up to the god tier. I like Ichigo a lot as a character, meaning he is one of my favorite characters in the Bleach story. So that's, I feel like that's fair. Is it boring to like the main protagonist that much? I imagine to some people, yeah. But I'm not always a huge fan of protagonists. I usually lean more towards side characters. So the fact that I actually have a protagonist that high up is actually like not very common for me. So with that in mind, the next character is Genjo, who does have a role beyond the anime, um, in the novels Can't Fear Your Own World. Um, in terms of his character, if anime only, I'd probably put him at like a B, like middle of the road, pretty solid. With the novel added, I want to say I want to up him up to A, but like I feel like he stays B for me. It's just he's fine. There's nothing really wrong with him in my opinion. I don't find him as a like offensive character. I'm also not blown away by him as a character. I do like that they gave him more of like a more thorough purpose in the plot with Can't Fear Your Own World and like what his character's purpose is in the narrative, and that's really cool. But yeah, other than that, like he's just I feel like putting him right in the middle at B is fine. Avoiding manga spoilers for Yuha Bach. And then Eisen. Eisen would be god tier if anime only, and would stay god tier if we include all of the manga and novel material. A million people have loved Eisen for a long time, have overanalyzed the character to death. I don't really have a lot I can tack on. I just think Eisen is probably my favorite antagonist in Bleach. He's the best one, I'd imagine, for a lot of people. He's up there for sure. If it's not him for me, it'd be like Ukiura might be my favorite antagonist in Bleach, but Eisen is definitely a favorite for sure. Avoiding manga spoilers for Ichibei, and also this guy, and her, and him, and her. All them get moved along. Kukaku, if anime only, we add on manga or novel material, she really doesn't do much more in the novels. I mean, she does exist in the novel material and also in the entire narrative work of Bleach, but like it's kind of the same purpose each time. Um so like I feel like C because I don't think she's a bad character, but she also doesn't really get a lot of time to actually be a character per se. She's just existing, and characters around her or of her family have more plot relevance in terms of like family members. Like her brother, I would also put in C. Less than her. I would put Eisen above Ichigo, in my opinion, of characters that are like better, quote unquote. I like Ichigo a lot, but Eisen is a better character, in my opinion. Genjo is currently the only character in B, so he could stay there. Kukaku, I think, is a better character than her brother, just because the brother is just annoying at times. He didn't have the strongest impression for me at the beginning of his appearance, but then it does get better as time passes, and then he's just kind of around in the like extended material, so it's whatever. Avoiding manga spoilers for this character, because that is not Yoruichi. Tokinata is not a manga character, so we can talk about novel characters, I feel like. I don't know if they're animating the novel. None of us do. And because of that, I've kind of just talked about the novel often without worried about spoilers. Because to most people, they don't care enough about the Bleach universe. For them, at least, I care about it enough to want to know everything. But, like, not every fan is going to be that dead set on, like, oh, well, there's, like, a light novel out there I can read. But Tokinata, I would probably put it, like, S. I like him a lot. I think he's a really good bad guy because he's just straight up grimy. Like, they eventually get to the point where you learn more about Eisen, right? To kind of humanize him in a way where you learn about, like, what he's really about. And in turn, it allows you to see more about, like, I get why he's doing what he's doing. And it, in theory, isn't always making him the baddest person in Bleach, you know? Whereas Tokinata is just straight evil. Ganryu, I think, is this guy. From the first movie, bad. These guys were not interesting enough, sadly. Senna's a great character, and the Valley of Screams is a really cool concept that I'm glad is actually canon, and like the movie was well received by Kubo himself to make it a mainstay in his storyline because it is relevant technically in the final arc in terms of like the realm, the Valley of Screams, not like the movie itself, but like the material in it is referenced in the final arc, and like Kubo himself says like, hey, go check out this movie if you want to know more about like the basic setup of what this is. But Ganryu, he was just like this exiled nobleman, but they don't really get into the family. I know that this family's brought up again in Camphiran World because Camphiran World does a good job of like really bringing in what people would argue was like filler material and making it canon, like how this family's mentioned from Memories of Nobody. Um, but then also Muramasa's mentioned from the Zanpakuto Rebellion, like the sword. So like that stuff is being brought in because it was like really well received, non-canon like AU material that people made for Bleach that is well received by Kubo. So like it's pretty cool. Speaking of the Zanpakuto Rebellion, we have Koga. This guy is pretty dope. I'd put him at like B above Genjo. I like him. It's a good filler, honestly. I think it's the best filler in anime that I've seen, to be honest. There's not a ton of filler that I actually will sit through. I have sat through all the Bleach filler at least once. The Zanpakuto Rebellion, I honestly consider it canon with how much material of it is brought over to the mainstay series. That, like, if someone's going to watch Bleach, I tell them not to skip it, because it's actually good. Yamamoto. If we're thinking anime only, probably A. Cause anime only, he doesn't do too much. He's cool, but like final arc hits, like all the manga material comes through, S tier. His lieutenant. Really, really forgettable guy, and then has like one cool thing in the manga, but that doesn't do enough for me. I guess it puts him to C, but then like the anime stuff is so long term, the whole manga is so long term, he just doesn't do anything, you know? And I'm glad that they give him a moment to be like cool in the final arc and like whatever, but like, eh. He's not in the anime, at least with a presence. Soifone, anime only, probably top of B. Add the manga, I guess A. Add it all together, I'd probably give her like an A. Soifone's fine. I'm not a huge fan. Like, she's good. She's better than most, to be fair. I like her Shikai a lot. I think her Bankai is a lot left to be desired. I like it more when she does other things that aren't the Bankai, and the Shikai is really cool. The Shunko is really cool. Really cool stuff. Yoruichi is S, above Yama and Tokinata for me. I like Yoruichi a lot. Really, really cool character. If we add all of it together, you add anime only, I would give her an S. You add the manga material that hasn't been adapted yet, I would still keep her an S. Omaida is trash and stays trash. I just don't like him. That's like a novel character. I think it's like his ancestor. I have nothing to say about him. Gin. Well, Gin dies in the anime, so there really is only anime material to cover with him. A, but like above Soifone. Really cool character. Rose. Rose anime only doesn't get a lot of time to do anything. And then in the manga, he does get material, but it doesn't do a lot for me. I'd put him in C and below these two, personally. The filler captain, Shusuke. This filler was fine. It takes a while to get good, and then it's just okay. It's probably the second worst filler. The Bound arc is definitely the worst filler in Bleach, but like this is like the second most offensive one. The other two are actually pretty solid, to be fair. The Regai filler and the Zanpakuto Rebellion are actually good, in my opinion. Where like this is just fine. I put him in like D. I don't really care about him. Izuru, I really like this character. I find myself liking a lot of the lieutenants because I like when they get like spotlights to be cool characters. Izuru, anime only, I'd probably give him like a B or like an A. We add all the material total together for everything, I'd put him in S. I like Kira a lot, actually. Really, really cool character. Who is this? I can't really tell who this is. They might be using images from the one shot where it's like a character from the future that I just don't remember yet. So I'm gonna put them down there and then maybe come back to that. It might be that Fullbring with the lucky gauntlet, the jackpot Fullbring. If it's him, I'll get back to it if it's him. This guy from the filler, trash. Didn't care for him. Definitely worse than the captain guy. Unohana, if we add anime-only material, I'd put her in A. If we add manga and everything all together, I'd put her in God tier. Amazing character. Her lieutenant, on the other hand, is like D, just because she doesn't do anything at all. Like, she's a captain now in the Hell arc one shot, but like that doesn't mean she's done anything. I would definitely just she's just not great, but like better than him. Better than him, just because I think she's more aesthetically pleasing than the guy, but like it's not really all that. Hanataro's brother is novel only. He's kind of a dick. I'd put him at like C probably. He's fine. Hanataro, A. I just think he's funny. He's a solid character. He's very reliable. Very, very good boy. Best boy for some, understandably. Shinji is one of my favorites. He is pretty much my favorite captain. So he's God tier for me, above Unohana, not above Ichigo, but definitely in this bracket of God tier characters for me. Really, really good. Anime only, I would have him in God tier. Manga, novel, everything else added, I'd keep him in God tier. I just like Shinji a lot. I like his theme. I like his abilities. His Bankai is really, really cool. He's just got a drip that like his fashion's really cool to me. I like the just the design is really, really cool. Um I just like his design a lot, and just everything about him is really cool. Momo, oh boy. Momo, this is something. Okay, so Momo is honestly fodder for me. I don't really get a lot from her. I'd probably put her in D. Put all the material together, I don't really see anything from her that I care about. Um, she just gets stabbed like all the time, the entire time. Like if she's not getting stabbed by Hitsugaya, she's getting stabbed by Eisen. If she's not getting stabbed by Eisen, she's getting punted around by a wrong car. Like, there's just never a moment where she really shines, and it's a shame because they really try to sell you early that she's a keto expert. And I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. So she'll probably be like a spell slinger kind of character, and that's not far from incorrect. She is a keto expert that showed a variety of keto skills throughout the show, but like even if you do like add novel material, add manga material, whatever, you add it all together to compile her rating. Anime only, I give her like a D, and then put it all together, I'm still keeping her in D tier. Just I don't really care about her. Byakuya, on the other hand, is a god tier character above Unohana. Um, for me at least, I think Byakuya is arguably the best developed captain in Bleach, one of the best developed characters overall, to be fair. Like, I did a whole video on the man and Nozel, which you could check out on the channel. I'll probably put a card up on the corner, but if not, I did a video about Byakuya and Nozel and how they're really similar. But, like, Black Clover did a thing to surpass the basic inspiration of Byakuya to make their own character, while like still being reminiscent of Byakuya, and it's really cool how the two characters have split away from each other, but are still really, really good, well done, similar narratives. And yeah, Byakuya, god tier. Anime only, I would have him in like S. You put everything together, god tier. Genrei is only from the past. This is Byakuya's, I believe, grandfather, because his father was just like a pleb who didn't do anything, so he's unnamed. But his grandfather was the former captain of Squad 6 before Byakuya, and we don't really get a lot from him, so it's kind of really, I guess, just like he's inoffensive in a way to where like I could put him in C, because I don't think he's bad, but like he's just there. Renji, okay. To be honest, if we were talking anime only, I'd probably throw Renji in B. But if we do everything and put it all together, I'd probably give him an A. Like, Renji, and I put him above Hanataro and Soifone. Yeah. Renji is one of the protagonists of Bleach, but, like, he suffers from being the one that loses all of his fights to showcase the powers of the bad guy. Because, like, he's, like, Ichigo's second strongest friend. Because all of his other friends kind of don't really do anything unless it's like Orihime for 2 seconds. So like, if Renji is shown going down, and like it's a way to show like, oh, this bad guy's bad news, you know. Um, but Renji has a good showing later on, throughout the rest of the show or the narrative pieces. He's a good character. I don't hate him. He's well developed, well written, cool guy, awesome design, but like, eh. Otherwise, just kind of, he loses a lot of fights. It's kind of eh. I think this is meant to be Yumi Chika, but also it might not be. So I'm just gonna like put that there because I don't know why that's there. I'm not sure who that's supposed to be. Sajin, anime only, probably like C. Put it all together, probably like B. Like, yeah, like above Genjo, I guess. Above Koga. I put Sajin like at the top of B right now because he's like the best of the middle ground inoffensive characters to me. Sajin's fine. He's kind of he's the captain example other than Hitsugaya of just gets beat to show the power of a bad guy, which is a shame. Love does nothing for me through the entire thing. Like, I feel like Rose actually gets a decent showing after a bit, but then like Love just gets nothing. He has a garbage Shikai and no Bankai to his name. Has had a bad design all the way through. Like, just trash character, throwaway character. Tetsu Zaimon, Sajin's lieutenant, the current captain of that squad in the Hell arc one shot. Anime only, trash. Put it all together, still trash. I don't care about him. He doesn't do anything. This is like a novel character that I haven't read, so I can't say anything. This was the guy that Oryu swamped right at the start. Trash, garbage. Shunsui, god tier. Anime only, god tier. Add it all together, god tier. Like above Retsu, above Byakuya, above Shinji. Even though he's not my favorite captain, I gotta recognize the character itself. Like, Shunsui is a extremely well-written character. One of the best characters in Bleach. Absolutely. Bodies. Like, absolutely bodies some of the best parts of Bleach. Amazing character, especially when you put it all together. Definitely god tier. On the other hand, his either female former lieutenants or current lieutenants are different in terms of where they place. Lisa, I'd probably put it like C. I like her hollow mask. She's above Ginrei for sure. Hanataro's brother, Rose. I'd probably put her at the top of C because, like, there's nothing necessarily wrong with her, but, like, at the same time, she doesn't really do much, like most Vizards. Nanao doesn't do anything for most of Bleach. If we put it all together, like, anime only, I'd put her in, like, C. But then, if we put all of the manga things, if we compile everything together for what we could give her score of anime compared to everything that hasn't been adapted into an anime, I'd put her, like, higher up in C, probably, like, here, like, top of C for me. I don't know who this is. Tosin. Tosin is interesting because he's anime only, but Campfire World gives you a lot more context on what he went through and why Tokinata is a piece of garbage. And, like, Tosin, I feel like for me was like an A, but then with the novel material, I'd put him like really high up in A. Like, Gan and Tosin are like the top of A for me right now, I think, with everything of theirs put together. Kensei, a captain that has a lot of showings, but like doesn't exactly really do anything with those showings. He's interesting because like he's like one of the few Vizards that gets a Bankai shown in the anime, right? But then it like just doesn't do much really, so it's kind of hard to tell if he's like actually good, like strong or anything. His design's really cool, and I like him because he does have ties to my favorite character of Bleach, which we're about to get into after Mashiro. But like, anime only Kensei is like just inoffensive, like B. Put it all together, I'd just keep him in B at the bottom of B, I guess. Mashiro is funnier, on the other hand, and just has a little bit more presence. But still C for me, just kind of because, like, her showings aren't the best in the show, and then you put it all together, anime, manga comparison, I'd still keep her at, like, the lower end of B. Hisagi, on the other hand, is my favorite character in Bleach. He's, like, the face of this channel for the most part, other than myself. Hisagi's great. I love that he's the main character of the Campfire World novel. I love that they did that. They gave him proper attention. He's like the one. What I liked about him even more was how the writer of Campfire World pointed out what a lot of people thought is that Hisagi feels like a protag, but wasn't given the protag spotlight by Kubo. So then other people did it for him, right? And it worked for sure. His character is really good. He has a super, like, really nice Zanpakuto, really cool abilities. His Bankai is busted. His Shikai in its real form is busted. Amazing character design overall. it's edgy, but like it's good edgy. You know what I mean? It's a good, solid design. Really, really good character. I like everything about him. He's like the true definition of a Soul Reaper. Like the just if there was like a dictionary, you open it and you're looking up the definition of Soul Reaper in the dictionary, a picture of him will be there. He is like the number one general definition of what a Soul Reaper should be. And what even works more is like he's an actual Reaper. You know what I mean? Like they're themed after like being like the Grim Reaper, and he's the real deal. So it's really cool. Um, Anime only. He was my like one of my favorite characters, but then everything else that happened to combine it all together, like the novel or the novels and things like that, really skyrocketed him to like my favorite character by far. Hitsugaya. Hitsugaya is odd because he's like so popular and he gets a bunch of different abilities shown throughout the show and the manga and like everything else. And like this man loses like every fight he's in. Like his showing is not good. This man loses like everything. Unless it's like fodder, he loses the fight. Um like A, because I do like his character a lot, and then like bump him up a lot after we combine it all together. Like I probably put him there, most likely. Ishin, Ichigo's dad. We would be going into things that we can't go into with him right now, but anime only. I would say like B, but then we put it all together, S. Like probably here for me is where I'd put him. Kimpachi. God tier. God tier character. Kempachi is incredibly well done as a character from start to finish. Anime only, god tier. Put it all together, novels, manga, things that have not been animated, god tier. Just it gets better. Like literally god tier gets better. Like just really really well done character. All of these characters I feel like in god tier right now are really well developed characters that are given either like really cool things and therefore rule of cool takes over, or like they're just really well developed in a lot of cases. In particular, like Kimpachi, fantastic character. These are novel characters I haven't read up on. They're the past Kimpachis that they talk about in the Spirits Are Forever With You novel. That's not gotten an English release, and I haven't found a reliable translation for it. So I just not going to talk about it. Yachuru. Anime only. I would probably put her in like A for the silliness. S with all the stuff put together. I like her character quite a bit. Really, really cool. Ikaku. Anime only, probably like B, and then like put it all together, like above Kensei, Mashiro, Genjo, Koga. Yeah, I'd put him like there. Yumichika C stays there. He's fine. We'll just like move him up to like here. Yeah. We'll put him like there. Mayuri is a god tier character and stays that way from beginning to end. Yeah. That looks right. Kisuke is also a god tier character from beginning to end. Yep, that looks good. Nemu is S. Quite a bit up actually in S. Probably put her like right there. Hiyori, Nemu, I would say anime only is like an A, but then to put it all together, I would put her in S. Hiyori anime only would be like D because I just don't care about her, and then put it all together, I'd move her up in D. I just don't like her that much. Like there would be fine. Akon is like a B tier guy. He's just solid. He's just the background homie, and then like up in B, probably like right there. This guy from filler was trash. Jushiro. Oh boy. Anime only Jushiro is interesting to talk about because there's like so much more that we still don't really know that we're probably going to get in the one shot arc if it continues. But like probably A, but like high up in A. You know what I mean? I like his character quite a bit. I don't think he's S yet, but he might be in the future based on more info we get. But right now, I'd probably put him in A. Rukia is my favorite girl character in Bleach. I think she's the best girl in Bleach, to be fair. Best developed girl in Bleach, other than like Nemu or Unohana, Yoruichi, Yachuru. Those are like probably some of the best written girl characters in Bleach. Other than like Orihime, which we haven't got to yet. We'll get to her eventually, and where I'll put her. But yeah, Rukia is my favorite female character in anime. So, but anime only, god tier. Everything else, god tier. Cayenne, he dies before the start of Bleach, but we're given the context of it during Bleach. I would put Cayenne like probably B, even with more context given to his name, like probably like middle of the pack B would be fine with Koga and like Genjo. These two are just kind of meh. They're like C for me. They're just inoffensive, just or D actually. Sorry, D tier. They're just kind of meh. They don't really do anything for me. Um, what's this guy's name? Tessai. Just I don't care about him throughout the whole thing. Same thing with Hachibe, or yeah, Hachibe is just whatever. This guy trash. Trash. Filler trash. Filler trash. Filler trash. Um. Okay, now we're actually getting to like a guy that was actually okay. Kokuto or not Kokuto. Whatever this guy's name was from the third movie, or the second movie, Diamond Dust Rebellion. He was like C. He's I. He's the Hitsugaya copy, but like a friend of his that they had the same Zanpakuto and they killed him off because of it. Pretty interesting idea, actually, that I think could definitely happen based on Soul Society politics. It's a pretty cool idea that I think this was like, it was an okay movie. It's probably my least favorite Bleach movie of the four. Um, yeah, I would say it's like the worst one. Then like Hellverse would be the second worst one. But like it's he's fine. He's inoffensive. She's like D. She was okay. The girl from the Riga arc, it was whatever. Senna is an S tier character for me. I actually like her a lot. She only has one showing, but she's a good character in my opinion that carries an existence beyond herself in Bleach, being like the inspiration behind Rukia and Renji's daughter, and just like actually having cool abilities, very nice design, has a lasting impact on the show beyond herself, even if she's not remembered. Pretty cool. Aura is a really cool character. I would say strong S next to Tokinata from the Camp for Your World novel. Very cool character. Tsukishima is also S tier. Really, really awesome antagonist. Fantastic ability. Evil, evil man. The gaslight, the ability, busted. Stupid character. Really, really good character, actually. Anime only or everything else put on because of his appearances in the novel, Camp for Your World. Still, fantastic S tier antagonist, in my opinion, for Bleach. Orihime is also going to be an S tier towards the very top. People give her a lot of crap, and it's a shame because it's probably the anime's fault. The anime does a lot of disservice to her that the manga does not. And that carries a lot with how the animators were huge fans of Ichigo Rukia together, which completely dismantled a lot of Orihime's early dialogue. This removes a lot of the moments between the two of them that show clear signals of them being into each other really early in Bleach, and the impact that they have on each other, and how they are very much one and the same. Ichigo keeping people out but protecting, and Orihime keeping him out to protect him, and how they just don't get close enough because of their ideals and wanting to protect the other. And it's a really interesting dichotomy between the two that eventually works out for the better. But anime only, I give her like, well, like a C because they make her look terrible in the anime. But like if you read the original material that actually has Kubo's real words on it, definitely S for her, overarching between anime to the upcoming material. Chad sadly gets shafted big time in Bleach. I like his character quite a bit in the early bits, and then he gets nothing. um, he's like B, like middle of B, and that's like the best I can do. Yukio is like a C. His ability's okay, but like it's fine. He's just a boring character. This guy's garbage. She's like whatever, like D. I didn't care about her. Um, this guy was D. Who cares? Riruka is like in like a B, like the high end of B, like probably here. Yeah, we'll put her like there. Um, Riruka's pretty good. I like her ability. Good design. Cute character. Big ups for that. The design is nice. The ability's cool. And she's a pretty good character. Probably one of the better Fullbring characters. Ichigo's sisters. They're fine. They're like B, just inoffensive characters. Don Kanonji, probably like a C. He's just kind of funny. Um, Tatsuki is such a waste of potential. Like, she she could have been honestly part of the main crew, and I don't know why she's not. Like, she was like a huge part of Ichigo's childhood, and then just it doesn't matter. It's actually insane. It's weird how like Kubo's pretty good at not wasting character potential for the most part, because most characters get their moment, right? And then like Tatsuki just doesn't. She doesn't have powers. She's just there, and it's such a shame. Like his other friends, who cares? They're whatever. But like with her, she actually had like an relevance. She's like Orihime's best friend, was present for her like initial death, and then bring back to like against her brother when he was a hollow, and then like has a big relevance to Ichigo's childhood, and it's like nothing. She just gets nothing. So it's like huge waste of potential that puts her in like B, but like just because I find her middle ground because like it's just I'm just disappointed with her character. Um, Keigo's fine. He's like D. Same thing with this guy. They're just there. I don't really. They're just around. They're people that he talks to occasionally. They don't have a lot of weight to the narrative overall. Same thing with these two that are like, well, she's like C. I hate him. Jinta, he's like garbage, annoying brat. Cone is like a C. He has his moments. Overarching between like anime, manga. I mean, he doesn't really have anything in the ending bits of the manga, but it's fine. The Hellverse guy, like D. Who cares? Kokuto is actually cool. I give him like high B because I actually like his character. Avoiding manga spoilers, avoiding manga spoilers, avoiding manga spoilers, avoiding manga spoilers, avoiding manga, 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 avoiding manga. You get it yet? There's a lot of characters to avoid here because there is a lot of characters introduced in the last bits of the manga. Is that everybody? I think everybody else we can talk about. Okay. Uryu. Okay. So Uryu is the kind of boy that gets a much bigger role, obviously, in the last bits. It is always like a best friend is a pivotal point of an arc in Bleach. Sorta. Sadly, Chad doesn't get one. But Orihime does get one, and Orihime's character I always liked a lot. He was my favorite of Ichigo's friends. I would probably put him in like S, like here. Eh, definitely above Senna and Yachuru and Kira and Yama and Ishin. That's where I'd put him for me personally. Anime only, I'd have him in like A, probably, but then like with everything else piled on, definitely S for sure. Don't know who that is. Ichigo's dad. Uryu's dad, Ryukin, is a really cool character to me that is huge wasted potential, actually. They just don't do much with him. I like him a lot, though. I'd still put him in, like, A, just because I think he's really cool, but, like, there really isn't much to say about him, though. Like, other than... Well, actually, no, definitely S, because, like, I really like the material with him and the final arc. Yami, trash. Xyla Opero, technically getting a resurfacing in the Hell arc. He's like high B because I think he's actually pretty cool. He's probably like the highest to be for me. Yami's dog, goated because it's a hollow dog and that's very cute. God tier. Stark. Stark, I'd probably put an S. A. I'd put him like high A. Right there. Stark's really cool. I like his character. He's sad, but like also really cool at the same time. And he doesn't get anything else. So anime only is all we're going to talk about because it's all he has. And Stark is pretty dope. Lilynette is annoying. I put her like in D. She's not trash, but just like she's just annoying. Bargain is just fine. His abilities and aesthetic is really cool, but the character itself is really not all that to write home about. Like I'd probably put him in like the middle of B, just because like the rule of cool doesn't overwrite how annoying, like, not annoying, but, like, just boring his character is. There's nothing to it, really. It's just like, I'm this old king, and, like, a giant hollow in Campfire World wants to know who, like, where I'm at, because, like, I'm an ancient hollow, but, like, he's just an old, angry man. There's really not much to him. Now, a character we can talk about from the light novel, Spirits Are Forever With You, is Picaro, because they're really, really cool. They are a, like, hive mind of children hollows that appear in the novel that are really, really neat. I will give them an A, because they get cool points for being really neat. Garbage Fraction, that didn't matter, that guy. Findor was the one that Hisagi fought, he's like a C, he's fine. Gigio Vega was the one that Soifone fought in the Karakura Town battle. He's like also a C because he was actually kind of okay. This guy, don't remember him, trash. The JoJo boy, he's like C because he was fine. This guy, trash. Holly is an awesome character. She gets a solid A, like, right behind Stark. Really, really cool character. Awesome abilities. Continues to get appearances throughout the remainder of the narrative and like manga and novel things, which is really cool. So like awesome character. Anime only, I give her like A. I think she stays in A. She doesn't really do too much to bump up. Nell, I think is an S tier character. I like her a lot. I'd put her like here. I like Nell quite a bit, actually. She's like one of my favorite female characters. Um, Nell, if anime only, would be like an S. It just stays in an S. I just like her character. I think she has a really strong entrance in her adult form, and it just is nice that it keeps coming back, which is really cool. Dordoni was the Perverona Spada that Ichigo fought back in the beginning of the Aranka arc. He's fine. He's like an inoffensive C. The three fractions of Hollybell. Well, they're okay, but I like the snake one more. So, like, he's better than D. Sorry. He's, like, here. He's better than these guys. Mila Rose is, like, here. Snake Lady is, like, here. You were like here. I don't like that one. Giant animal man didn't really matter. It was just the dude. Oh lord. All right. So Nell's Fraction. Um, Pesce is like funny, but also annoying. So like C, and Donachak is also like C. Ukiura is a god tier character. I'd put him like here, like right in the middle of god tier. Ukiura is amazing. We know it. We all love him. He's really, really good. We just like him a lot. Noitora is bad. He's like an incel. He's trash. That's all there is to it. Anyone that likes Noitora, I'm sorry, but like he's just a massive incel. Like he's just bad. He's a bad character. Uh Circusi has a cool design. She's like a goth girl. I'll put her in like C. She doesn't do much though. We'll put her like here. Tesla literally does nothing. Trash. Don't care about him. Grimjow is an S tier character. Like right about here. Grimjow is really, really good. Awesome character, cool design, good resurrection, awesome rivalry with Ichigo, good bad guy. Just cool stuff. Loopy is fine. I think he's like B. He's inoffensive. He's a pretty cool character that shows up later on. He gets some novel time to glow up a little bit. So overall, pretty cool dude. I'll put him like here. All right, who else do we have? Xiaolong, garbage fraction guy. Edrad, garbage fraction guy. Xylopero's brother, garbage fraction guy. Especially this guy, trash. Trash. Zomari is like a D tier. No one cares about him. Johnny Lightning Fist. D. Apparently, Xylopero's resurrection. We'll just put that next to him himself. Adaniro. Interesting idea. A little bit wasted potential with the ability so that way Rukia could actually beat him. He's like C, but like probably like here because he's like actually a character. Roka Paramia from Spirits of Riverwith is actually a really cool character. I haven't read it, but I've heard a lot about her, and I know like the general gist of her character, and it's really, really cool actually. Her ability is busted, and like for those that don't know who she is, looking like who is this? She is the surgeon that fixed Yami's arm, and then he like crushed her head, or he thought he did. Zyla Opero kept her alive, and then she escaped and lived a semi-normal life for a short period. After the events of the Arankar arc. I'm probably wrong because I haven't read the book, but generally she survives and has a role that is talked about in the light novel and has a really cool character. Actually, I'm gonna like throw her an A next to Picaro because they're cool. Wonder Weiss is just bad. I just don't care. This guy trash. These two trash. Didn't like them. Uh, trash, trash. Grand Fisher. Oh, we're like getting into monsters now. Weird. Grand Fisher's actually a character, so we'll talk about him for a second. Um, uh, Grand Fisher is like bad on his own. He has like narrative weight, but like he himself doesn't matter all that much. It's mainly about what he did is what matters. Ikomiki Domoe is the hollow that Hikone has. And can't fear her own world. I like how I could say the name of the hollow like flawlessly, but then the novel screws me up. It's funny. Ikomiki Domoe is like actually pretty fascinating and a really cool hollow. I'd definitely put him in like A, like up here with the cool point light novel dudes. Um, avoid manga spoilers. Who cares? Who cares? Giant vacuum butthole. Who cares? Sandman. Menos Grandes are actually cool. They can get like a B because like they actually have a cool design. Uh, this is like the first hollow ever. He gets a B for being the first hollow ever. Who cares? Who cares? Orihime's brother, B tier, baby. Yin and Yang, they had a really cool design, but they don't do anything. C tier. The twins, annoying. D tier. And Hikone. Hikone is a solid S tier, next to the other light novel characters. And that is the finalized tier list, with the main objective of it being an anime versus non-animated material comparison. If you guys are here at the end of this massive monstrosity, you're a real one, and I hope that you leave a like and comment your thoughts down below about some of your favorite characters of Bleach, and we could talk about it. And subscribe if you haven't yet to join the Streaming Society, and hit the bell so you are notified of upcoming videos. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.